Today's cold and wintry video is sponsored by Squarespace. So if you need a website, go to squarespace.com/Heaton.
Well, good morning from another day in Canada. It's my second day here, and it's cold. And we're going to a lake. Now, the lake's going to be frozen over and covered in snow. Big expanse of space, but what really excites me about this place, this location, is the snow-covered trees, the distribution of those trees, and the mountainous backdrop. We've got very grey, moody skies, so I'm not expecting much in light, but I am hoping for a good bit of drama. So I'm out here this morning with Nick Page, Gavin Hardcastle and Adam Gibbs. So there's 4 of us. And it's great. It's great travelling with like-minded people. I can't do this. This is the hardest, most frustrating photo shoot I've ever been on. Alright, keep going guys and you'll see it. We've got to shoot that direction towards the mountain. We need to be over towards that little hut. We've got to just plough straight through there. And as far as I can see, it's the only thing close by that looks worthwhile shooting. Right, well, I need to get out of this hole. I'm up to my crotch in snow and I can't get out. Ah! Please. Someone.
Yeah, what's the problem, Mr. Hume?
The problem is, every time I apply pressure to my feet to try and stand up, I seem to sink deeper into the snow. So I've given up and I'm just lying down. If I could you just help me. Gently, because I don't want to snap an ankle. Ignore her. Ah! Yeah, I'm crawling. Forget it. I'm going to have to resort to hands and knee tactics. I don't want to get snow in my glove. Oh yeah? Who needs snowshoes when you got a knee? just gotta walk on your knees. Right, fellas. They are now going to trail a blaze. No, they're not. They're going to blaze a trail. So there's 4 of us now blazing this trail. I'm walking on my knees. Seems to be working quite well. Oh no. Yeah, come on, more surface area on knees and shins. I've got gaiters on so I'm not getting wet. This is the hardest I've ever had to work for what could be nothing. Oh, Nick, you're doing a great job. Go on, lad. Blaze that trail. Oh, he's down. Man down. Oh no! This isn't for comedy effect. This is real. Yeah. Yes. Oh yeah, this is better. This is better. God.
Oh, the floundering that he just wrecked my camera.
We really do suffer for our art. And I'm kind of nervous because I've convinced these guys that this is the composition to shoot. Could all be for nothing. So we've spent the last 20 minutes on an arduous trail blaze through the snow. Really hard work. But we've arrived and it's very nice. Winter wonderland. Beautiful foreground interest. Lovely bit of light. Nice mountain in the background. It's even snowing. This is quite ideal. The problem is it's so difficult to shift. It's so difficult to shift your. It's so difficult to shift your composition because you can't walk more than 3 feet without having to pat down the snow. It takes 15 minutes. And what you don't want to do is walk into an area that you think might be good for composition. And then you get there and it's like, actually it was better back where I was. The problem there is you've broken up all the snow from where you were, so it ruins your composition. So yeah, I would say freedom and flexibility is something that we don't have. So we're here and we're going to shoot it as is. This is a great spot. I've had trouble composing the image because we're so restricted with how far we can move and adjust our composition. And the main problem for me is this big tree here that's just creeping into frame. And when you compose an image, it's always important to check the edges of your frame to make sure there's nothing poking in that you don't want. So trying to eliminate distractions coming into your frame is quite an important thing, but it's very difficult to do here because I'm so restricted with where I can move. I have shuffled forward about 2 feet without intruding in anyone else's composition, and it has made all the difference. I'm now able to shoot the scene without, well, I've still got minimal branches coming in, but I can quite easily clone those out, no problem. It's a very subdued scene. The mist and the weather's rolling in, so the mountain is very soft, very faded in the background, very atmospheric. The distribution of trees is fantastic. I'm not sure how I feel about this little fella here. It annoys me. I wish it wasn't there, but there's nothing you can do, so I'm probably just going to have to live with it. But again, nothing I can do compositionally. And yeah, but I'm taking this image now because this is nice. It's quite subdued. I would like a bit more snow or a lot more snow on the trees, but it's still a fantastic scene. So I'm shooting this at f11. I'm focused on the mountain. Very, very carefully compose my image to eliminate as much as possible from the edges of the frame. I'll probably do a little bit of clone removal afterwards. But yeah, what a lovely, peaceful, quiet place to shoot. Fantastic. Well, good morning everybody, and welcome to another frozen winter wonderland here in Canada. Yesterday wasn't a great day. We really struggled through the snow in the morning. I wasn't happy with the image that I got, and we were hoping to return there this morning in better light, but again it was socked in by cloud. So we continued down the road for about another 20 miles, and we're here at this beautiful frozen river, and it's phenomenal. We have amazing patchwork of snow and rocks, and then this glossy blue ice that's reflecting all of the pine trees here on the other side of the riverbank. And then at the bottom of the river, downriver, you have a beautiful mountain peak with subdued light and lots of cloud and interest in the sky. And it's a glorious, glorious morning. The light is so soft and painterly. It's cold. It's about minus, I don't know, I'd say it's about -12 here right now, but on the drive down it got down to -15. And oh, it's beautiful. I'm going to talk you through my composition because it didn't take me long to figure out what I wanted to shoot. And I'm noticing a theme on this trip, that most of my images seem to be vertical composition. Not really sure why that is, but if it feels right, do it. So it's so peaceful here, you can hear the river flowing beneath the ice. It's really nice, and you can hear lots of wildlife and birds tweeting, even though it's -12, -13. It's still beautiful. Now, the composition I've chosen, I'm really happy with it. It didn't take me long to find it all, because there's this area by the river where the snow meets the frozen ice of the river, and then you have boulders and rocks kind of protruding out of the ice. But on the edge of the riverbank, where the snow meets the ice, there's all of these fantastic curvy shapes that lead you straight down through the boulders, over the glossy glass-like ice to the mountains in the distance. And framing the mountains are pine trees, nice and uniform and straight on the left-hand side. And then you have a scattering of pine trees and a small snow-covered hill on the right-hand side, reflecting in the ice. But what makes this image for me really is the formation and the shape of the snow where it meets the ice, leading you through the image. It's all about that leading line and where it takes you, and it takes you through the trees, over the ice, to this beautiful mountain range with a really lovely soft sky, you know, very fluffy clouds, very soft light, and it's just a peaceful scene. Really happy with it. I'm focus stacking. I'm shooting at about 28mm, so I'm not super wide. If I was to go too wide, you would lose the mountains in the background. They would become too small. You want to emphasize those a bit. So I'm at 28mm. And focus stacking, as I explained in my previous video, I focus on the mountains, and I focus about 1/3 into my scene, and then I focus the very, very foreground. And it's really simple to stack those in Photoshop, not a problem at all. I'm shooting at f11, no filters. I don't really have much more to say about this. It's just one of those times where you don't have to struggle for an image or a composition. You don't have to struggle at all. Yes, it's cold, but as long as you have good clothing on, it's fine, it's nice, it's peaceful, it's still. And this is what landscape photography gives you. Sort of nature, wilderness experience, peace and quiet. And although the wind's picking up a bit, so that wind chill is kicking in, it's still beautiful. So I'm going to take this image now, focus stack, the clouds are looking beautiful, and then I'm going to move on and see if I can find something else, because there is light and mountains all around me. So I came for a walk down the river in the opposite direction to I was shooting, because the light was hitting all of these mountains in the background. And it's fantastic, I'm so lucky to be able to be here now, and so lucky to be able to shoot this, so fortunate. I'm very much aware of that, so I'm having a good day today. In fact, this has been a good trip. As soon as I arrived here further downriver, I could see the potential for a pano straight away. You've got these beautiful mountains in the background catching the early morning light with dark snow, stormy clouds behind them, so you get that contrast. And then we have this beautiful glass-like ice reflecting these trees that just seem to frame the entire composition. So on the left hand side you kind of have a snowy ridge with these spruce trees, and then on the right, well in the centre, you've got almost like an island of very uniform spruces. I think they're spruce trees anyway. And then on the right hand side, which was my favourite bit and what really drew me to this spot, is the beautiful trees that are falling in and over the river. So they're leaning and almost bringing the eye in. They act as a fantastic frame for the mountains. So it seems like this whole scene is framed by the trees, which is just fantastic. So yeah, the panoramic was an obvious choice for me straight away. So I leveled my tripod here on the ice. Very easy because it's very flat, which is nice for a change. And when I shoot a pano with a long lens especially, I always just focus to infinity. So I focused on the mountains. Now, when shooting a pano, there's a few things that you have to get right, otherwise there's a chance it's not going to work out. You're going to get home, try and stitch your image, and it's going to look a mess. So the first thing is to level your tripod. Make sure that you can get it as level as possible. The second thing is to make sure you visualize where you want your pano to start and finish, and what everything that you want in frame, and then frame it a bit wider than that, so you've got that breathing space should your tripod not be quite level, because it's so difficult to get it spot on. But you just want it level enough that it, that you get a straight-ish pano that you then crop afterwards. The third thing to do when shooting a pano is, before you start taking images, bring the histogram up on your camera and just do a sweep of the scene from left to right, and make sure that histogram stays good all the way, because you might be exposing for the center of the panel and you think, right, I'm good to go, and then as soon as you start sweeping across, the highlights perhaps on the left hand corner of your panel where the lights hit the mountains, that might be overexposed, so you want to give it a quick sweep. Another thing to be very, very cautious of when shooting a pano is that as you swing the camera around like this, especially with a long lens, you give it, it causes camera shake. So you spin the camera, and then it takes about a second or two for it to stop shaking. So between each image, just wait a second and then take the photograph. So when I shoot it, I always do this weird thing where I move the camera and then I put my hand in the air and then I take the photograph. I don't know why, it's just habit, I suppose. But that's it. So just being cautious and doing those simple steps will help you create a technically sound panorama. The creative side, well, that's up to you. But technically, those are the things you want to look out for. So yeah, this is beautiful right now. The light is on the mountains, the sky's gorgeous, and I'm going to shoot this again. Another tip I'll give you before I go on to shoot this image over and over again is to, when you finish your pano, take a shot of your hand in front of the lens. And then when you get into Lightroom and you see all of those images, you know where the set of images start and finish, and it's quite easy to then select that group of files and stitch to a panel, rather than, oh, which is the first one, getting all confused. So yeah. Oh, and a final tip, God, we're tip crazy today, is when you shoot your panel and you're in an environment like this, it's kind of a once in a lifetime job. Just go in and check the images here and now. You've taken them, go into each image, zoom in, make sure that they're not blurry and they don't have any image shake and they're not soft. Just for peace of mind, because I tell you, I've done it. I've gone home and looked at my images in the soft because I didn't check. So yeah, there you go. Loads of pano tips. Maybe that's what I'll call this video, panoramic tips in Canada or something. So I'm going to crack on with shooting this and yeah, carry on enjoying myself. Feel like a new man. So it's always difficult to judge if a pano is going to turn out or not, and I always think it's quite funny that you guys have seen the image and I haven't. That's how it works in my head anyway, but I'm confident it's going to be a nice photograph. I think Yeah, this morning's been fantastic. Yesterday we started off with struggle and hardship through the deep snow. It was amazing fun, but I was quite frustrated that the composition had so much potential, but I couldn't make those minute adjustments compositionally that I like to do. We took yesterday afternoon off, caught up on some work, rested, you know, got lots of sleep, ate lots of food, and I think that's paid off because this morning I feel fresh, I'm happy. The image that I got earlier looking down the river towards the mountain, I'm really happy with that, and I would go as far as to say it's a keeper. So relieved that I finally have a keeper. And then this panel, yeah, fantastic. So I'm going to end the video here. Thank you so much for watching, and I'd like to give a massive thank you to Squarespace as well, as they continue to support me into 2019, which helps me out, and it helps me, you know, it allows me to do stuff like this basically. So a huge thank you to Squarespace. So if you need a website, you know, portfolio, online shop, anything like that, go to squarespace.com/Heaton and give it a free try. And if you like a free trial, use the offer code Heaton for 10% off your first purchase. So with that being said, I'm going to go. But join me next time for more wintry adventures. So yeah, until then, thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Looks great with a time lapse. It
Oh,
just
yeah.
moves along. It's weird though. There's all of these yellow puddles of snow everywhere. I don't know what that is.
It's seasonal melt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Silt.
Seasonal melt.
Seasonal.
You compose an image, it's always important to check the edges of your frame to make sure there's nothing poking in that you don't want. Just like if someone stood there with a massive cock out.